La Yashala. Imagine, Wapani Hakwadam means rise and face the east. We are going to get into the prayers, starting with the Lord's Prayer. Abanawa, Shabbat Shemayim, Kodash, Hayah, Shukah, Yahweh, Malakwaka, Taba'ah, Rakazaka, Hayah, Aisha, Barakaza, Kawa, Hayah, Bashemayim, Nathalanawa, Lakam, Ko, Yawam, Wasalak Nanawa, Kamawat Nawa, Kasalak Nawa, Kamawat Yanawa, Wala'a, Taba'ah Nawa, Manasawan, Abor, Awashinawa, Mayan, Ra, Tia, Laka, Malakwa, Waha'ala, Wataparah, La Awalam, Aman. In the English, our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name, Yahweh, thy kingdom come, thy will be done in earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us of our debts, as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory forever. So be it. Amen. Psalms 121. In the Hebrew, Asha'ah, Ayanya, Ahaharim, Ma'ayan, Yaba'ah, Azaria, Ma'aim, Yahweh, Aisha, Shemayim, Wa'arakazah, Ayathan, Lamawat, Regalka, Ayanawam, Shamarka, Tanah, La'ah, Yanawam, Wala'ah, Yayashan, Shawamar, Yasha'ala, Yahweh, Shamarka, Yahweh, Tazarka, Ayad, Yamyaka, Yawamam, Hashemash, La'ai Yakaka, Wa'arak, Walayala, Yahweh, Yashamarka, Makorah, Yashamar, Akmapashka, Yahweh, Yashamar, Tada'afka, Wawal Afka, Mayata, Wa'ai, Awalam. Psalms 121 in the English, I will lift up my eyes unto the hills, from whence cometh my help from the Lord, which made heaven and earth. He will not suffer thy foot to be moved. He that keepeth thee will not slumber. Behold, he that keepeth Yasha'Allah shall neither slumber nor sleep. The Lord is thy keeper. The Lord is thy shade upon thy right hand. The sun shall not smite thee by day, nor the moon by night. The Lord shall preserve thee from all evil. He shall preserve thy soul. The Lord shall preserve thy going out and thy coming in, from this time forth and even forevermore. The cock, the power in the Hebrew, Yahweh, by Shemiah Washai, Babakashah, Nathalanau, the cock, Ma'a'ah, Kal Makala, Kal Madawa, Hakak, Latahor, Hamatazari, Hakak, Lakahakim, it's like it, Lahakim, Hamakim, Hakak, Arakawat, Hatama'ala, the Garshin, by Shemiah Washai, the water Aman, the power in the English. Yahweh in the name of Yahweh Shai, please give us the power to heal all manner of sickness, and all manner of disease, the power to cleanse the lepers, the power to raise the dead, power against unclean spirits, to cast them out. In the name of Yahweh Shai, thank you, so be it. Bless Israel. In the Hebrew, Yahweh, by Shemiah Shai, Barak Kanawa, Wayasha'Allah, Wahabayah, Sapari, Barak, Rapa'ah, Magun, Hagun. Say the name of loved ones once, everyone repeats the name once. For time's sake, all of Israel. Israelite School, Universal Practical Knowledge. All those dead in Israel, may they rise again in the kingdom. By Shemiah Shai, the water Aman. In the English, Lord, in the name of Yahweh Shai, bless us. In Yasha'Allah, in the school, bless, heal, shield, protect loved ones. In the name of Yahweh Shai, our King, thank you, so be it. Psalms 83 in the Hebrew, Alahayim. Adam Yalaka, Alpha Karash, or Alpha Shakwat, all Kayahana, Abakika, Yahami Yawan, Ra'ash, Al Amaka, Yarayumwa, Sawada, Wayata Yaitazawa, Al Sadapawanyaka, Amara, the Kawa, Unakap Yadam, Makoya, Wala'a, Yazakar, Shamya Sha'ala, Awada, Kiyah, Nawai Tazawa, Laba, Yakatu, Aulika, Warayat, Yakrakwa, Ahoya, Adawam, Wayashama Alayam. 1 second. Moab, Wagaria, Gabal, Wanawan, Wamalak, Pelashah, I'm Yeshabia, Tazawar, Gum Ashawar, Nalawa, Imam, Hayawa, Zarwai, Bunya Lawat, Salah, Ashalahum, Kamadian, Kasiyasara, Yabi Benakal, Puyashwan, Nashamata, Bayan Da'ara, Hayawa, Daman, La'adama, Chedathumba, Nada Yamawa Kaira, Ukazabat, Ukazazor Mana, Karnasil Kumba, Ashar, Amaru, Narasha, Lanawa, Naawa, Alahayim, Alahaya, Chedathumba, Katogala, Katwash, Lapanya Rawaka, the Byron like Ka'ach, the Byron Yaira, Wakalaba, Alahat, Hari, Khan, Tharakatma, Asarika, Basil Kafka, Alahum, Mala'a, Panyahum, Falawan, Wayaba Kwashwa, Shika, Yahweh, Yabashwa, Wayaba Ai, Wayakaparu, Wayabatla, Wayadailu, Tiya Atha, Shika, Yahweh, Labaka, Al Yawan, Al Kaparakazai. English, keep not thou silence, O Yahweh. Hold not thy peace and be not still, O Yahweh. For lo, thy enemies make a tumult, and they that hate thee have lifted up the head. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people, and consulted against thy hidden ones. They have said, Come, and let us cut them off of being a nation, that the name of Yasha'Allah may be no more in remembrance. For they have consulted together with one consent. They are confederate against thee. The tabernacles of Edom, and the Israelites, of Moab, and the Hagarenes, the Baal and Ammon and Amalek, the Philistine inhabitants of Tyre, the shore also joined with them. They have hoped in the children of Lot, Salah, doing to them as unto the Midianites, as to Sisera, as to Jabin, at the brook of Kisan, which perished at Endor. They became as dung for the earth, made their nobles like a rib, and like Zed, yea, all the princes as Sabah, and as Zamuna, who said, Let us take to ourselves the houses of Yahweh in possession. Hold my power, make it like a wheel, as the stubble before the wind, as the fire burns the wood, and as the flames set the mountains on fire. So persecute them with thy tempest, and make them afraid with thy storm. Fill their faces with shame, that they may seek thy name, O Lord. Let them be confounded and troubled forever. Yea, let them be put to shame and perish, that men may know that thou, whose name belongs to Yahweh, art the most high over all the earth. Right. ISUK power instruction. Blessed are you, Yahweh, King of heaven and earth, and all things living. Yahweh, in the name of Yahweh Shah, listen to us now, right now. Send evils and curses and punishment and instruction to the heathen that speak against us, thy prophets, the teachers, the princes, the priests, the Israelite brothers, and the school. Send evils and curses and punishment and instruction to the heathen, and shake loose the treasure of the rich of Israel that refuse to give to the school. Force the riches to enter thy sanctuary. Send evils and curses and punishment and instruction to the Edomites, and the nations, and the drug dealers, the court system, the prison system, Planned Parenthood, all the governments of our enemies, Amalek synagogues and armies, Roman Catholic Church, the Pope, Islam, Christianity, Egyptology, militia, Ku Klux Klan, Aryan Nation, skinheads, Cosmopolitanism, the gay movement, the lesbian movement, spies, workers of witchcraft, NASA space program, Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines, Wall Street, open up the internet and the airwaves, the cable access channels, and the radio channels. Convict the spirit of any of our people that seek to stop us, and bring swift destruction to all the heathen that stand in the way. Try to stop us from broadcasting your words throughout the planet Earth. They lose all the plagues, causing them to go to and fro through the earth and consume them. That's the place at the house of the thief and the murderer. Let Yahweh Shai, Michael, and Gabriel come down with flying saucers and punish all the heathens that come up against us as we speak thy word. Cause us to be known by all that is the angels have done us. Cause us to be spread through the media, throughout the whole world. Cause them to shake at thy coming. In the name of Yahweh Shai, thank you always, so be it. All right, start, which means to turn. Yeshabium, which means to be seated. All right. Shalom, Yahweh Shem Shai Rakatham to the brothers. Shalom, Yahweh Shamar, Allah Shem Shai to the sisters. All right. I HBK, Minnesota, with the Sabbath service. I'm priest and officer 5000, Maccabia. All right. Y'all bear with me real quick. Dealing with a little bit of allergies. Salakia. Salaki, my apologies for that. All right, so we are going to get into it. Once again, we are speaking about Ezekiel. Let me turn that down. Salaki. Let me see. All right, yeah, so we are still in the book of Ezekiel, chapter 32. It should already be on the screen, so you can follow along. But first, we are going to get into the 7 verses in Hebrew. All right, so we are in verses 22 through 28, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, Con. All right, let me see here. So let's go ahead and get into it. And after we break down all 7 verses, we are going to get into the 7 verses in the English and break it down from there as well. All right. All right. Ezekiel chapter 32, verse 22. Shum, Ashawar, will call. Kwala. Let me see. Ooh, Salaki, this one's a tongue twister. Good night. Let me see. Sabyab Watawa. Sabyab Watawa. Salaki. Some of these are a little difficult. So Kwabarathwa. There we go. Kalam. Kalayim. Napoleon. Karab. Verse 23. Ashar. Nathanwa. Kwabarathia. It's like Kwabarathia. Oh, Barakwa. It's like Barakia. There we go. Nawar. Wahaya. Khala. Sabarakwa. Wa. Kwabarath. Kalam. Kalayim. Napoleon. Karab. Ashar. Nathanwa. Katawa. Wa'aratazah. Kayam. Verse 24. Shum. Awalam. Wakal. Hamawana. Shabayahwa. Kwabarath, Kalum, Kalayim, Napoleon, Karab, Ashar, Iratwa, Alayam, Al, Arataza, the Katwa, Ashar, the Thunwa, Katayatham, Ba'arataza, Kayam, wait, Salakia, oh, Wayashar, there we go. Kalamatham, Ath, Yabaratwa, Bawar, verse 25. Bathak, Kaladium, Nathanwa, Mashakab, La'ah, also like it, La, Bakol, Hamawana, Sabawatwa, it's like it, Sabawa, Ath, yeah, there we go. That's a long word. Salaki. Good night. That's a long ass word. All right. Let me see here. Kwabarath. Salaki. Kwabarath. Kalam. Arelanium. There we go. Kagol. Salaki. Kaloya. Karab. Kaya. Nathan. Kataliatham. Ba'arataza. Kayam. Wayashar. Salaki. Kalathum. Ath. Waya Ra'ai. It's like Waya Ra'ai. Yeah. Bawar. Batawak. Kalayim. Nathan. Verse 26. Shum. Meshach. Or Meshach. Yeah, Meshach. Tabal. Wakal. Hamawana. Sabayab. Ottawa. Korabarathia. It's like Korabarathia. Kalam. Alayam. Makakola. Karab. Kaya. Nathanya. It's like Nathanwa. Katayatham. Ba'arataza. Kayam. Verse 26. Wala'ah. Yashakabwa. Ath. Gabarium. Napoleon. Salakia. Nah. Ma'arlium. Such a funny word. Ma'arlium, which means uncircumcised. Ashar. Yeradwa. Shawa'al. Makoya. Let's see. Malak Matham. Wayathanwa. Ath. Karabwatham. The cock. Ashwam. What the Awatham. Ow. Hold on. Salaki. Damn, what is this word? Aitazawatham. Kaya. Katawath. Gabarium. Ba'arataza. Kayam. Verse 28, last verse. Watha. Batawak. Aliyam. Ashabar. Watashakab. Ath. Kalaya. Karab. That's it. Salaki. Good night. That was a tongue twister, man. Good night. Salaki, y'all. Y'all got to excuse me real quick. Salaki. All right, so we back. That was Ezekiel chapter 32, verses 22 through 28. All right. Now we are going to get into the actual English portion. So everything that I wrote down or read in the Hebrew, we're now going to read it into the English to understand better. Okay. And also, too, once again, you should get this app. It's called, let's see here. It's called the Hebrew to Greek Interlinear Bible app. All right. It's a very good app. Like literally, like you can look at this right here. You see that? You can actually read the Hebrew and you can see what it says in English. All right. This is a very, in clutch type of app. You know what I mean? It's really going to save you. It's going to save you and help you with your classes. Okay. It's a very good app that's very accurate Hebrew. You should really get it. So it's called the Hebrew Greek Interlinear Bible app. Okay. So yeah, so like you can read any scriptures in here and it will break it down in the actual Hebrew for you. All right. Versus you read it in the English. Now the English does follow behind it as well. All right, which is amazing. But all right, let's go ahead and get it to it, man. We ain't gonna be all day, with this. If anybody got any questions or concerns, please type it into the chat. Don't be shy. This is not the Christian church. You can definitely ask as many questions as you want. All right.
But if nobody got any questions, I'm just gonna go ahead and get started. Of course, like always, I like to recap, right? And by the way, we are still down on Facebook. We're just on YouTube and Twitter at the moment. Okay. For those that's been asking and calling in, we are still down on Facebook. We got a strike for I guess a class or something that we did, but you know how that goes. No one likes to hear the truth. It's really the problem. So as always, I like to always recap, right? So that way, if you were not here last week or you wasn't here for quite some time, as far as class, watching online or being in here physically, um, chapter 31 and 32 has really been focusing more on the prophecies of what's to come. A prophecy is something that's going to come in the future. That's what a prophecy really is. Now, when someone prophesies, a man of the Lord, they're prophesying about what is to come and what's going to pass in the future. They're telling you about the times of now and what's to come in the future. That's what a prophecy is all about. And that's what Ezekiel was. He was a prophet. All right. He went and prophesied the words of the Most High of what was to come and what was going to happen. Now, a order was given to Ezekiel by the Most High. When you read earlier in both chapters, and the order was to go tell the other nations what is going to happen, what is going to happen to them. Okay, and what's going to happen is a punishment is what's going to come to them. Now, I love this chapter specifically because you can use chapter 32 to match up with what Revelation says, what Isaiah says, and so on and so forth. Because this is talking about all the nations. Damn near every other precept talks about almost every other nation, and it tells you about the destruction that's going to come to them. If you never read this chapter before, go to last week's class, last Saturday, and look at that class, how we break down, the top portion of the chapter. Now we're pretty much in the middle, getting towards the end of it. Okay, like this is a very, very great, chapter, and I will explain. So last week we had spoke about um, how specific nations of people were going to be destroyed. We talked about Pharaoh. Pharaoh is of Egypt, so the Egyptians and the people that are round about the Egyptians. The other nation that have ties to the Egyptians are going to get the punishment as well. Now we read a little bit about it last week, but this week right here is going to mention even a lot more other heathens that are going to get destroyed. Okay, because of like understand this, right? Anytime you look at the war or any type of wars or battles that was going on in the Bible, understand why. Okay, why? A lot of times we went to war for many different reasons, right? But if we went to war against the other nations, it was because we were trying to fight for our freedom, or it was time for us to take them out. But now, what Ezekiel was speaking about right here specifically, how all these people are going to be destroyed, that is talking about when Christ returns. Okay, you can match this up just directly with Revelation, because Revelation is going to say the same thing, right? And what's going to happen is all the nations of people will be grouped together and they will be destroyed. All right, it's going to happen. Like, don't just think that America is going to just fall. This entire place is going to be under judgment. And for what? Because of what they have done to God's chosen people. The ones that don't, no one really gives a damn about. I'm talking about the so-called, so-called Black, Hispanic, and Native Indians. No one really gives a damn about those people. No one really cares for us. All right. I find it very hilarious and ironic how, I find it very hilarious and ironic how, I just want to sidebar for a second. When Palestine needed help and support, they were given help and support. The same thing with Ukraine. The same thing with France. Every time there's some type of devastation outside of America, I notice that everybody gets the support and help that they need. But meanwhile, in America, Black, Hispanic, Native Indians are suffering. There's not only just a tent city in Minnesota. A tent city is all over across the world when it's filled with Black, Hispanic, Native Indians. How is America the most richest country, one of the most richest countries, but yet cannot figure out how to stop homelessness? They know how to stop homelessness, but there is a system, there is an agenda, there's things in place to make things run the way that is running right now. All the crime, all the violence, all the idiotic politics, all the homelessness, all the lack of food and resources to keep people to survive. I mean, it's all a game. Like America is not really a country, but it really is a business, and you are a part of this business. But this business, this empire, whatever you want to call it, is not going to be. It's not going to thrive for too much longer, because based on the prophecies that have been coming out, especially the one about Russia and Ukraine, Commander Junior Hanna in 2014 at Passover, he spoke about how a war will break out between Russia and Ukraine. And then years later, boom, what was it, like almost 2 years ago? It happened. But he said this in 2014. He was watching and he was seeing what was going on in the world. And Most High revealed to him that, look, that's coming very soon. And a lot of these prophecies, and also too, that prophecy is in the Bible. It's in the Bible as well about the Russia and Ukraine. Now, of course, it's never going to say Russia or Ukraine, but understand that places called America, Iraq, Iran, Israel, Palestine, all these places have different names that are actually in the Bible. That's how we know who is going to war with each other, who's up next, who's last to go, who's first place, who's second place, because the Bible breaks all of this down for us. But it takes a wise person. It takes somebody with great understanding and obedience to what the Most High reveals to you for you to understand that. Like, everybody's not going to understand what is in this book, because the Most High does not reveal all the secrets and all the mysteries of this book, of these records, because it's only for a specific type of people. That's why the Jewish man does not understand the Bible, because they apply it to themselves physically versus spiritually, but they don't have no spiritual. There's no spirituality when it comes to the Jewish man, woman, and child, because they live by this book carnally. Like flesh. All right. So, long story short, I say all that to say, last week we went over pretty much all of that, everything I just said, right? So I just want to grab a few precepts before we get to the main precepts. All right. Okay, so the entire chapter 32 is a prophecy. So if you get lost or you are confused, just try to follow along. All right, so Ezekiel chapter 32. Ezekiel chapter 32. Let me get verse 17 real fast. It came to pass also in the 12th year, in the 15th day of the month, that the word of the Lord came unto me, saying. Now, once again, anytime someone says in the Bible that this word came unto me from the Lord, understand that the Most High has messengers, which are angels. He has people in place to deliver a message to one of the men of the Lord, right? It's no different with Christ, Jeremiah, Isaiah, anybody that does the work of the Lord, right? It's no different. Like how we say orders don't go up, orders come down. So like the Most High being at the top, Christ being at the top, orders come down. So we get orders from the generals, the captains, and high-ranking officers. Orders go down, they do not go up. And that's how it works. All right. The angels work for the Most High. not the other way around. Okay? So, son of man, wait for the multitude of Egypt and cast them down, even her, the daughters of the famous nations, until the neither parts of the earth with them that go down into the pit. Now it says the daughters of the famous nations. So it's saying like, look, the multitude of Egypt is going to be brought down to the ground, right? They are going to be destroyed. That's why it says cast them down. All right. Even her and the daughters of the famous nations. Now, the daughters of the famous nations, think about the countries that are very popular, very structured, and powerful. Think about Russia, because we are going to talk about Russia later on in this chapter. Think about China. Think about Israel. All right, that's what you want to think about. Okay, those are the most America. Those are powerful, famous nations that we hear about all the time. Think about Africa, Brazil, the UK. You know what I mean? Those type of places, right? So understand that all these other countries are in cahoots with each other. That's why a lot of them are part of what is called the United Nations, all right, or NATO. Okay, so let's keep going. So long story short, they are going to be destroyed with them as well. Verse 19, whom doest thou pass in beauty? Go down and be thou laid in the with the uncircumcised. Now, when it says being laid down with the uncircumcised, that's speaking about how filthy and disgusting that they are. Because understand that these other nations, man, how they live their life and how they operate is disgusting. It's filthy. A lot of people love to glorify other cultures, other people's cultures and traditions, but really the way that they live their life is absolutely filthy and disgusting. That's why the Most High calls them uncircumcised, because they are filthy. It's an insult. It's not talking about the uncircumcision of your genitals, but it's talking about how filthy and disgusting that they are. Okay, and really, when you think about what circumcision is, you're cutting something. You're cutting into something. You're removing something. And that's why the Most High said that they are to be separate from us. We are a holy people. They are not a holy people. That's why the Most High says that the children of Israel are holy, which means separate, to set apart. And that's why the Most High has always separated us from the other nations. It's all through the Bible. But yes, they are the uncircumcised. They are the Gentiles. They are the strangers. Okay? And so it's talking about, so the question was, whom doest thou pass in beauty? It's a question. Go down and be thou laid with the circumcised. Verse 20. They shall fall in the midst of them that are slain by the sword. She is delivered to the sword. Draw her and all her multitudes. So, like, once again, we're talking about the she and the her. It's talking about the daughters of Babylon at this point right now, which is Egypt, right? Because Egypt was a time of Babylonian captivity. So, and those that are the multitudes, those that are connected with Egypt are also going to fall by the sword as well. They are going to fall into that trap and they are going to be eliminated. All right? They are going to be unalived. Okay? So let's keep going. Oh, okay. All right, I'm gonna stop right there actually because I just want to get to verse 22 real quick. I'll keep going. Verse 21: The strong among the mighty shall speak to him out of the midst of hell with them that help him. They are gone down; they lie uncircumcised, slain by the sword. Now, this is talking about how one of the strong nations, right? Out of all the famous nations, one of the strongest nations is going to try to talk to another country or a nation, because a country is pretty much a nation, right? They are going to try to talk to them for help. Okay, now I read it one more time. The strong among the mighty shall speak to him out of the midst of hell with them that help him. So the hell that is speaking about, once again, you want to knock out all the Christianity in your head, because it's not talking about an actual place of hell. it's talking about the condition or the state of it, all right? Because hell and heaven are conditions. Like you can feel like you're in heaven when you're on vacation. You're at a beautiful island or resort. You know what I mean? Hold on, y'all bear with me real quick. Salaki. So yeah, my apologies for that, Salaki. I thought somebody was at the door. All right. So so you can feel like you're in heaven when you're like on vacation, and you can feel like you're in utter hell when you're dealing with depression, anxiety, bills are stacking up. You're homeless, you have nowhere to go. You don't have a lot of resources as far as survival. Like that's hell. You know what I mean? So as far as these nations or these countries, right? When when America falls, he is going to try to use all his resources, all his allies to help him. Like this is something that is going to happen. It has not came yet, but it's going to come very soon. There is going to be a time and place when the entire earth is going to be interrupted because of World War III. And World War III is Christ and the angels returning to cause all the havoc and judgment. And the only reason why this has to happen so a new kingdom can be born, to be born. And that kingdom will be the kingdom of heaven. It's not a place that you go. The kingdom of heaven is going to be on earth. Simple as that. You're not going to go where the Most High is at. That's not what the Bible ever talks about. All right. But however, the kingdom of heaven will be on earth, and it's gonna be similar and 100% the same like it is in the heaven that the Most High is at. Okay. But yeah, everybody's still going to be on earth. Like after all the judgment and stuff like that, when our enemies get unalived and they are in slavery and captivity under the Israelites, the so-called Black, Hispanic, Native Indians, then there will be peace on earth again. Because the problem with America right now, the problem with this entire earth, it's sideways, it's upside down, it's crooked, it's all over the place because of who is ruling this earth. When you think about who is responsible of the earth and who runs this, ask yourself who is in position right now, who has all the power. Add a race to it, because it's not just everybody. I mean, everybody's not in power. There's only one person in power who has this earth by his hands. That is Esau, the white man. He runs any and all things in this earth right now. He runs this earth. When you think about the power, I mean, power is you being the head of NASA. You control all the judges, all the senators, the councilmen. You control the politics. Like these are the people that rule everything. Okay? And they are going to fall. All the stories that we hear about, all these people in high power and stature, all the crimes that they commit, and they're not in jail. Like Donald Trump technically should be in prison. This man has broken so many laws before he was president, as he was president, and not being president anymore, and trying to run for president again. He has committed so many crimes that can give him so much time. And yet he's still walking, living his best life. That's because, once again, they have power that you don't have. But however, if you would have committed half of the crimes that Donald Trump committed, you would be under the jail. You would be under the prison. And that lets you know they have power. So once again, let me read that one more time. Let me see. The strong among the mighty shall speak to him out of the midst of hell with them that help him. They are gone down, they lie uncircumcised, slain by the sword. Now, once again, he keeps saying they are uncircumcised. They lie or lay next to the uncircumcised. He's talking about the other nations, how they are just filthy. Once again, it is an insult. All right? Like it's the same thing when King David called Goliath a uncircumcised something. Damn, he called him uncircumcised something. All right. Let me see. Let me see what he said. I forget. Let me see. Oh. King David called him a uncircumcised Philistine. Now, a Philistine is a biblical word that just means pretty much a African. That's what that means. All right. He called him a uncircumcised Philistine, which means that he was just disgusting and just ugly. It was an insult. Okay. All right. Y'all give me 1 second here. Salakia. Y'all bear with me. Okay. All right. So let's keep going. Now, verse 22. This is where we should have started. All right. Verse 22. Ashur is there in all her company. His graves are about him, all of them slain, fallen by the sword. Now, Ashur is also another different nation. It's not the same as the Egyptians, but a different nation of people. So not only did it mention the Egyptians, but it mentions Ashur also, right? Verse 23, whose graves are set in the sides of the pit, and her company is round about her grave. All of them slain, fallen by the sword, which caused terror in the land of the living. Now, this is why they're being slain, because you may have the question, now why is this nation and that nation and this nation all going to be judged? Because of the terror that they did as far as the land of the living. Now, understand, every single nation. Okay, so Black, Hispanic, Native Indians, we have ruled the earth we have ruled the earth many different times. You know what I mean? Throughout history. Your history does not begin with slavery, nor does it end with slavery either, right? That's a complete, white lie. That's always being told. But however, we ruled the earth, and when we ruled the earth, it was in righteousness because we served the Most High in Christ. Okay? We served the Most High, our God, our power. And that's why everything was in order, in decency and in order. But however, the other nations, I can't speak highly of them because they all took part in your demise, in your destruction, in your captivity, in your downfall, right? That's why when we read Psalms 83, that is a prayer from King David. That is a prayer wishing and praying for the destruction of all of those nations. Like when you see when you see those biblical names that's being spoken of, like for example, let me show you. Just give me a second. So like for example, right, in the English, right, you got Moab, you got the Ishmaelites, you got Edom, you have who else? Amalek, Ammon, Gabal, the Hagarians, Tyre. You have Zeb, you have Or, you have Zabah, you have Zamuna. You have all these different nations of people who took part in your captivity. Now, once again, the Israelites are the Arabs. Edom is Esau, who is the white man or the white race. Moab is the Chinese, and Ammon is the Japanese. Okay, Amalek is still another stock of white people as well. Amalek today would be the so-called Jewish man. Okay. All right. Let me see. You got the Midianites. You got Sisera. You got Jabin. You got Kisan. You got so many other, stocks of nations of people that took part in your captivity. Now, I'll just tell you this very briefly, and then we're going to keep it going. So, as far as the Israelites, right? The Arabs killed about 14, or I'm sorry, unalived 14 of Black Hispanic Native Indians way before Esau put us in captivity. Okay. Now you may not find this in your school history book, but the Arabs had us in captivity, had definitely enslaved us. Who else? The East Indians, the other ones with the dot on the forehead. Um, who else? White people, of course. We're still enslaved right now. If you have not noticed, um, the Africans, as far as the Egyptians, the Africans, right? Pharaoh. Man, who else? Who else? I mean, oh yeah, the Chinese and the Japanese too. But a lot of people don't talk about that, which I'm going to bring that out very soon to show you proof that all of these different nations of people enslaved the Hebrews, enslaved the Israelites at different times of different time periods in history, so to speak. Okay, so let me see. And that's funny that I mentioned the East Indians because they are in the next verse. I'll tell you. So I'll read 23 again. Whose graves are set in the sides of the pit, and her company is round about her grave. All of them slain, fallen by the sword, which caused terror in the land of the living. Verse 24. There is Elam and all her multitude round about her grave. Now, Elam, or the Elamites, those are the East Indians. Okay? That's their biblical name. The Elamites or Elam, they are the ones that are the so-called East Indians of today. And once again, like you can go back into history and trace all of this back. And you will see that these are the people that are living today. Like there's nothing fictional, um, there's nothing magical about this book with these records. This is real life, and this is something that's going to happen. So not only Egypt or Ashur, but the Elamites also are going to be slain. There is Elam and all her multitude round about her, all of them slain, fallen by the sword, which are gone down uncircumcised. He even calling them filth, which they are very disgusting and filthy people. All right. You might want to look into their culture a little bit more. They always try to show you the beauty of someone's culture, but they don't really show you the reality of how they live their life. Okay. And also, too, that word thug comes from Elamites or the East Indians because there was a time in their culture, which is still the same thing right now, too. But when you do a little bit of history about where the word thug comes from, it comes from a word called Thuggee, like the Thuggee tribe. The Thuggee tribe was a tribe in as far as the East Indians, where they will rob you, they will unalive you, and they would kidnap you. It was called the Thuggee tribe, and they will rob you, hold you for ransom. They will unalive you, and it was a very popular thing, and I believe it's still ongoing right now. Let me see. Thuggee tribe. Yeah, here it goes. In the 1830s, this Indian secret society strangled upward of 30,000 native people and travelers as a sacrifice to their god Kali, the Dark Mother, the Hindu triple goddess of creation, preservation, and destruction. The name Thuggee comes from it comes from a word called deceiver. So once again, it was an Indian tribe of a secret society that was doing that. Also, too, the god of Kali, right, or the god of Shiva, right? The god of Shiva, who has the many arms and that's like a teal-looking color. That god, they also worship that god as far as smoking weed or marijuana. And what they would do is they for 7 years they would not touch their hair or bathe themselves. So they would not cleanse themselves for 70 years. And that's where dreads come from, because dreads is matted hair. So over time, if you don't touch your hair, right, like, touch your hair, it gets matted, especially if you got like coarse hair. But your hair starts to mat, it starts to stick together. Okay. And that's where, and then later they will roll it to make a dreadlock, to make it look more fashionable. That's where dreads come from. Dreadlocks. It's just matted hair. It's dirt. It's dirty. And it came from the East Indians. They say it comes from the Rastafarians, but that's not true. It stems from the East Indians. And then later on it traveled. Because understand that, the Rastafarians or the Jamaicans are right next to the East Indians. Okay? They're not far. And in Jamaica, there's nothing but East Indians there. All right? A lot of East Indians live in Jamaica as well, or live in the island type of areas. So that's where it comes from. It don't come from black people. It comes from the East Indians. Don't let nobody lie to you about that, all right? Anyway, let's keep going. I just went to sidebar real quick. All right. There is Elam and all her multitude round about her grave, all of them slain, falling by the sword, which are gone down uncircumcised, and to the neither parts of the earth, which caused their terror in the land of the living. Yet have they borne their shame with them that go down to the pit. So they have received their judgment and their shame. Okay? There's a good type of shame. There's a bad type of shame. A bad type of shame is, something that you should be regretful about what you did, right? A good type of shame is like someone praises you, and the whole world is praising you so much based on something. It's like a good shame, because it's like, damn, I'm getting all this attention. I'm getting all this, I'm just getting all this attention on me. And, like, damn, I'm being congratulated, or I'm being complimented, or I'm doing something amazing and great out here. That's a good type of shame, right? And that's in the Bible as well. When it talks about a good shame concerning keeping the law, statutes, and commandments, right? So, yeah, otherwise, this type of shame is talking about the shame of the terror, causing terror as far as the land of the living, right? So that can mean anywhere where there's life, where there's resource. It could be in Minnesota, New York, Chicago, Detroit. So it's saying like wherever these people were causing terror or terrorism, I should say, they are going to be judged because of that. And especially if it involves God's chosen people. Okay, so once again, this is a judgment, a prophecy about judgment that's going to come very soon, which is called World War III. It's coming very soon, and you better get ready. And how you stay ready is you want to make sure that you and your family are protected. If you give a damn about yourself or your family, make sure that you are right with the Most High, because there will be Israelites as well that may just be unalive right next to the oppressor and all the other nations. But unless you want to make it to those chariots, those UFOs that many people may call it, if you want to make it, and you want to be protected once all this goes to shit, make sure that you are right with the Most High. Come to class, isupk.com. Find the nearest class to you, and understand that this is not the Christian church. This is not a Muslim mosque. We are strictly about laws, statutes, and commandments. That's not a religion. Okay, it's cultural. It's traditional. That's what the Most High is about. This is not Christianity. This is not none of that. This is strictly about serving the Most High. And once again, do not go to church trying to serve the Most High. It's not going to work, because you will never find him there. However, you will find all the sin, all the lack of accountability, all the filthiness. That's what you will find in every religion. All right, because it's not of the Lord. And if it's not of the Lord, it's of who? Satan. All right. So anyway, let's keep going. Verse 25. They have set her a bed in the midst of the slain with all her multitude. So it's saying like there's a lot of graves, all right, that are dug up. And all these graves, there's each one for a specific nation of people. And it's talking about, it's showing you kind of like the point of view of how this nation and that nation and this nation are slain by the sword, and they are, they're this pit, this grave is for them. That's really what it's speaking about. All right. Verse 26. I'm sorry, 25. They have set her a bed in the midst of the slain with all her multitude. Her graves are round about him, all of them uncircumcised, slain by the sword, though their terror was caused in the land of the living. Yet have they borne their shame with them that go down to the pit. He is put in the midst of them that be slain. So it's really telling you the same thing over and over. It's pretty much just letting you know, like, look, now it's their turn. They're next. And all their multitude. So their friends and their allies and their foes and friends, all of them are right next to them. Okay? So the Africans, the whites, the Chinese, Japanese, the Arabs, the East Indians, all these people who took part in your destruction and your demise, they have a grave right next to each other. How wonderful is that? How beautiful is that? Okay? All right. So, verse 26. There is Meshach, Tubal, and all her multitude. Her graves are round about him, all of them uncircumcised, slain by the sword, though they caused their terror in the land of the living. Now, Meshach and Tubal are, okay, when you look at who Meshach and Tubal are, it's going to say the sons of Japheth, right? And are related to Magog. So, Russians. And by definition, it would tell you that these are Russian people. Okay? Back then, it probably wasn't a word for Russia or Russian at that time. But today, when you translate it today, those would be considered the people of Russia. So these are Russians. Now, why is that important? Because Russia is a big superpower. Okay, a big, someone who has a lot of power. Russia is huge, right? Now, Russia also too has a lot of power. That's why they're at war with the Ukraine, or at least they were. All right, because I do know that it calmed down just a little bit. But Russia and Ukraine, it was meant for them to fight. And Commanding General Yohanna said in 2014 at the Passover that Russia and Ukraine will fight. The videos is all over the internet, man. And that was such amazing to see. You know what I mean? Like to see that video and to see it in real life, in your own living time, how this man broke down this prophecy and how the prophecy was going to happen. Man, that was glorious, man. And you can see it in real time. And years later, about almost 2 years ago, I want to say almost 2 years ago, boom, it happens. Russia and Ukraine actually went to war. And not only that, after Russia and Ukraine, who was next? Israel and Palestine. They've been having an issue for such a long time. A lot of people don't know that this is not over. It just, what happened was it erupted again. And now it's media news. Israel and the Palestinians have been at odds with each other for such a long time. Okay? So anyway, verse 27. And they shall not lie with the mighty that are fallen of the uncircumcised, which are gone down to hell with their weapons of war. Now, this lets you know that this is going to be a war, because about the weapons of war. And when we read later on, you are going to see more about, okay, so this is really talking about World War III. Absolutely. All right. I'll read it again. And they shall not lie in the mighty, with the mighty that are falling of the uncircumcised, which are gone down to hell with their weapons of war. And they have laid their swords under their heads, but their iniquities shall be upon their bones. Though they were the terror of the mighty in the land of the living. Now, the mighty, I believe this is speaking about America, because America is one of the strongest out of all the other nations, right? So America is going to have a different type of place of punishment. So the other nations are not going to lay down with the mighty necessarily at this point. That's going to come about later. All right. Now, also too, when it says, which are gone down to hell with their weapons of war, it's talking about all their military might, all their strong military weapons. It is, it's not going to help them in this fight as far as the World War III. You may think these weapons of war are going to be against Christ and the angels, but it's not. Or because the angels are going to be in chariots, they are going to be in UFOs, and their weapons of war, as far as the other nations, are going to fight against the UFOs, which are angels inside of those UFOs, right? That operate it. And that is not like that. That's not going to destroy anything. Those UFOs, those angels inside of those UFOs or chariots are going to destroy their weapons of war. All right. And they have laid their swords under their heads, but their iniquity shall be upon their bones. Like when someone says that something is like in your bones, they're saying like it's in your DNA. You can't run from it, you can't get it off you. Okay? But their iniquities, meaning their sins, their transgressions, all the wickedness that they have done to cause terror in the land of the living, it's going like the Most High is going to remember it. Okay, He's not going to forget it. But that's the reason why they're going to be destroyed, because of their iniquities, their sin. Okay, so it's going to be like as it's like upon their bones. All right. Let me see. Verse 28. Yea, thou shalt be broken in the midst of the uncircumcised, and shalt lie with them that are slain with the sword. So yes, it will happen. They will lay right next to the mighty, but it's going to happen later. All right. Like this war that's going to happen to America. I mean, so like to the entire earth, with everybody involved. I mean, it's going to be. Yeah, it's going to be very bloody. Like the scripture says, like this is supposed to be the most bloodiest of any war ever. So World War III is going to be the most bloodiest war that there ever was on the face of the earth. Like, remember when Christ, with Christ, it says that Christ is going to have so much blood on his garment, it's going to look as if he was dipped in a wine press. Now, if you know anything about making a wine, you know that the process can get very messy. All the staining of the grapes, it can get very, very messy. And damn, it looks like blood almost, right? But it says that his body, like his garment, is going to be dripped in so much blood that it's going to be as if he was dipped in a wine press. So that's the So just think about a gallon and gallons and gallons of just blood, just all over your body. You're just drenched. Like imagine that, and that's going to happen in this time. That's why the Most High told Ezekiel to prophesy unto the other nations and let them know what is to come in the future. And that's what Ezekiel was doing. Now, when we get to the other verses next week, it's going to mention Edom. Let me see. It's going to mention Edom, which is Esau, the white man. And it's going to mention the others as well, all right? It's going to mention some other nations as well. So stay tuned for that, man, next week. Otherwise, that concludes the class. We are going to get into the prayers and close it out, all right? Give me 1 second here. 1 second. Y'all bear with me, man. It's allergies. It's weather. All right. I imagine what you saying. Once again, we'll find you halfway down. Rise and face the east. All right. Get to the Lord's Prayer. In Hebrew. Abanawa, Shabbat Shemayim, Dash, Ayah, Shukah, Yahweh, Malakwatka, Taba'ah,
Ratazaka, Haya, Asha, Barataza, Kawa, Haya, Bashamayim, the Thundernow, the Come, Call, Yuwan, Wasalakanaw, Kawawat Nawa, Kasalak Nawa, Kawawat Yanawa, Wala Tabaa Naw, Manasaya one, Abal, Hawashanawa, Mayan, Rai, Kaya, Ka, Amalakwa, Wa'ala, Wataparak, La Awalam, Aman. In English, our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name, Yahweh, thy kingdom come, thy will be done in earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us of our debts as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory forever. So be it. Amen. Psalms 121 in the Hebrew. Asha'ah, Ayanya, Ahahari, Ma'ayan, Yaba'ah, Isaiah, Ma'an, Yahweh, Aisha, Shemayim, Wa'arakaza, Ayathan, Lamawat, Rugoka, Ayanawam, Shamarka, Hana, La'ah, Yanawam, Wala'ah, Yayashan, Shawamor, Yasha'ala, Yahweh, Shamarka, Yahweh, Tazalka, Ayah, Yamyanka, Yawamam, Hashamash, La'ah, Yakakar, Wayarak, Malayala, Yahweh, Yashamarka, Makawarai, Yashamar, Akmafashka, Yahweh, Yashamar, Tada'athka, Wawa'athka, Mayatha, I will on. Psalms 121 in the English, I will lift up mine eyes unto the hills, from whence cometh my help. My help cometh from the Lord, which made heaven and earth. He will not suffer thy foot to be moved. He that keepeth thee will not slumber. Behold, he that keepeth Yasha'Allah shall neither slumber nor sleep. The Lord is thy keeper. The Lord is thy shade upon thy right hand. The sun shall not smite thee by day, nor the moon by night. The Lord shall preserve thee from all evil. He shall preserve thy soul. The Lord shall preserve thy going out and thy coming in from this time forth and even forevermore. Hakat, the power, in the Hebrew. Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, Babakashah, the thunder now. Hakat, Larfa'ah, Kal Makalah, Kal Manawa, Hakat, Lasahar, Hamakazarian, Hakat, Lahaki, Hamathi, Hakat, Arakawat, Hasama'ala, Lagarshi, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Thawada Aman. The power in the English. Yahweh, in the name of Yahweh Shai, please give us the power to heal all manner of sickness and all manner of disease, the power to cleanse the lepers, the power to raise the dead, the power against unclean spirits, to cast them out in the name of Yahweh Shai. Thank you, so be it. Bless Israel in the Hebrew. Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Barakanawa, Wayasha'ala, Wahabayah, Saparia, Barak, Rafa'ah, Magan, Hagan. Say the name of loved ones once, everyone repeats the name once. So for time's sake, all of Israel, Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge. All those dead in Israel, may they rise again. Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai Thawada Aman in the English. Lord, in the name of Yahweh Shai, bless us in Yasha'Allah, in the school. Bless, heal, shield, protect loved ones. In the name of Yahweh Shai, thank you, so be it. Psalms 83 in the Hebrew. Alahayim, Aladayam Alta Karash, Alta Shakwat, All Kayahana, Awapika, Yahama Yawan, Ra'ash, Al Imaka, Yarayoma, Sawada, Wayatha Hazawa, after the Fuwanyaka, Amara, Lakawa, Makat Yadam, Magoya, Wala'a, Yazakar, Shamya Sha'ala, Iwada, Kayat, Nawait Hazawa, Laba, Ikatwa, Auyaka, Variath, Yakarathwa, Ahoya, Adawam, Waya Shama Alayam, Moa'awa, Moa'awa, Wagari, Kabal, Wamawan, Wamalat, Palashaf, Amishavia, Tazawar, Kam Ashur, Nalawa, Imam, Hayawat, Zarwai, Labanya Lawat, Salah, Ashalaham, Tamadi, Kasaya, Yakasaya Sara'a, Yavia, Manafo, Yashua, Nashamatwa, Bayanda Ara, Haywa Dama, La'adama, Shethamwa, Nadad Ya Mawa Kaira, Mukazabak, Mukazazor Manai, Harnassia Kama, Ashar, Amara, Narasha, Lanawa, Na'awa, Alahayim, Alahaya, Shethamwa, Slahi. Shethoma, Kagogala, Kakwash, Lapanya Rawaka, Kaash, the Byria Ira, Wakalaba, Talahat, Haria, Kanthar Datma, Visaraka, Basawapaka, Talahum, Mala'a, Panyahum, Kwalawan, Wayaba Kwashwa, Shaka, Yahweh, Yapashwa, Wayaba Hova, Ayai, Waya Kaparwa, Waya Abatwa, Waya Daiwa, Kaya Atha, Shaka, Yahweh, Labatka, Al Yawan, Al Kaharakaza. Psalm 83 in the English. Keep not thy silence, O Yahweh. Hold not thy peace and be not still, O Yahweh. For lo, thy enemies make a tumult, and they that hate thee have lifted up the head. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people, and consulted against thy hidden ones. They have said, come and let us cut them off of being a nation, that the name of Yahshua may be no more in remembrance. For they have consulted together with one consent. They are confederate against thee. The tabernacles of Edom, and of the Ishmaelites of Moab, and Hagarenes, Baal and Ammon and Amalek, the Philistines, the inhabitants of Tyre. Ashur also is joined with them. They have hoped in the children of Lot, Salah, doing to them as to the Midianites, as to Sisera, as to Jabin, at the brook of Kison, which appears at Endor. They became as dung for the earth, making the Lord like a rib, and like Eve, yea, all the princes as a Lot and as a woman, who said, let's take to ourselves the houses of Yahweh in possession. O my power, make him like a wheel, as the stubble before the wind, as the fire burneth the wood, and as the flames set the mountains on fire, to persecute them by tempest and make them afraid of thy storm. Fill their faces with shame, that they may seek thy name, O Lord. Let them be confounded in trouble forever. Yea, let them be put to shame and perish, that they may know that thou, whose name alone is Yahweh, art the most high over all the earth. Right. Power instructions. Blessed are you, Yahweh, King of heaven and earth and all things living. Yahweh, in the name of Yahweh Shai, listen to us now, right now. Send evils of curses and punishment and destruction to the heathen that speak against us, thy prophets, the teachers, the princes, the priests, the Israelite brothers, and the school. Send evils of curses and punishment and destruction to the Edomites. I'm sorry, to the heathen. And shake loose the treasure of the rich of Israel that refuse to get to the school. Force the riches to enter thy sanctuary. Send evils of curses and punishment and destruction to the Edomites and the nations and their drug dealers, the court system, the prison system, Planned Parenthood, all the governments of our enemies, Amalek synagogues and armies, Roman Catholic Church, the Pope, Islam, Christianity, Egyptology, militia, Ku Klux Klan, Aryan Nation, skinheads, Polymatizing, the gay movement, the lesbian movement, spies, works of witchcraft, Nazi space program, Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines, Wall Street, open up the internet and the airways, and cable access channels and radio channels. Convict the spirit of any of thy people that seek to stop us, and bring swift destruction to all the heathen that stand in the way, or try to stop us from broadcasting your words throughout the planet Earth. Let loose all the plagues, cause them to go to and fro through the earth and consume them. Let the place in the house of the thief and the murderer. Let Yahweh Shai, Michael, and Gabriel come down with flying saucers and punish all the heathens that come up against us as we speak thy word. Cause it to be known by all that it's an angel that have done it. Cause it to be spread through the media, throughout the whole world. Cause them to shake at thy coming. In the name of Yahweh Shai, thank you always, so be it. All right, Sar. All right. All right, that concludes the Sabbath service. Shalom, Yahweh Shem Shabbat to the brothers. Shalom, Yahweh Shema, Allah Ta'ala Shem Yahweh Shai to the sisters. Shalom. Shalom, Israel.